Hello everyone, welcome back to lesson 3 of the psychology course. Now that we have acquired the skills to be emotionally intelligent and self-aware of our actions, what we are doing, how can we develop and move on to having effective communications so that we can cultivate positive relationships? Let's get started. So, what are effective communication skills? So, to take our mindset and psychology into the next step, to the next level, it is vital that we understand people around us and build our communication skills so that we can understand better and cultivate a positive relationship. Book recommendations surrounded by edits. I keep talking about this book. You really should read it. Communication skills also aid us in our daily lives in the business world to negotiate or persuade a customer. Also, being a good speaker at a meeting, conferences, or even around friends boosts confidence and allows others to trust you. You know, you're not like talking to someone in a way that you're waffling or just whatever comes out of your brain, you speak it. You're wise, your words are balanced, you know when to say things, what to say, to who. It's really important that we develop our communication skills. And what are effective communication skills? Let's go through that. One, we have verbal communication, importance of being clear, having clarity in your sentences and being conscious about what you're saying. Like I said, techniques include I statements to show confidence in self. So I believe, in my opinion, I. And active listening, of course, listening to the person in front of you so that when you reply to them, you're not, in somewhere else completely and reply to them about something completely different. And assertiveness. Number 2, non-verbal communications, so importance of body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. When I was young, my father always used to tell me eye contact. It's very, very important when you're talking to someone. Give them eye contact, talk to them. Sometimes I'm not giving eye contact because the camera is up. Anyways, give them eye contact. Sit upright, sit properly if you're sitting. Don't be fidgeting around and so on. Of course, you have facial expressions. You're not doing this, whatever facial expressions people do. And of course, your tone of voice. It's balanced. It's not too low. You're not whispering, and it's also not too loud. So, it's really important to have a nice balanced tone of voice, so that, for example, if you're in a meeting and you want to sound strong, then you can obviously raise a bit your volume a bit, so that people around you, everyone can hear you. And maybe if you're having a private meeting, also at the same time you can have a lower voice, but also it's important for the voice to be clear, not just the voice to be too loud or too low, to be in the middle. Now, techniques, again, like I said, maintaining eye contact, open posture, sitting upright, chest out, matching nonverbal cues with verbal messages. So if they give you a gesture, for example, you're in a meeting, someone says stop, something like that, you pay attention. Number 3, active listening, so fully concentrating, understanding, responding, and remembering what is being said, being 100% focused about what's being said in front of you. Techniques include nodding, you're saying yes, I understand, I'm listening. Summarizing, so whatever the person says, you can summarize it. Asking clarifying questions, so if you did not understand something in a meeting or so on, do ask clear questions about what they were talking about. And of course, reflecting about what you just heard. Sorry, I was supposed to move my face here. These are the words, so if you wanted to read. Okay. Next slide. Cultivating positive relationships. So after we have effective communication, we understand others around us, we know how to talk. How do we cultivate positive relationships? Number 1, building trust and support. It's really, really important to build trust with the people around you, especially if they're not just people that come and go, that they're people that stick with you. Of course, it establishes a strong foundation for healthy relationships. Trust is key in relationships. Techniques, obviously being consistent, honest, and having reliability between you guys. So telling everything to each other, testing each other out, test him or her, see if they kept your secret, if they understood you, if they were always honest with you, and you, of course, in return, you also have to be honest and consistent with them. and from there you build trust more and more. Number two, effective communication, importance. It promotes understanding. So when you know how to talk, when you understand others around you, it reduces conflicts it reduces conflicts by a lot. So obviously, when you understand the person in front of you, you're not like acting. For example, if you're in an argument, you're not acting in a defensive way because you understood their point, you understood what angle they're coming from. So this reduces conflicts and, of course, strengthens connections. Now, techniques: open communication. So speak openly without fear. Don't hide things. Be honest, like I said. Number one, having empathy, and of course regular check-ins. So you regularly check in on your friend um, or any other person. Number three, maintaining healthy boundaries. So what are healthy boundaries? So there are limits that protect personal integrity and ensure mutual respect. So sometimes, for example, with your friends, jokes can become too heavy. You know, I don't know what you or them consider too heavy, but you can obviously set boundaries from the beginning. Like if they do make fun of something that you don't like or you're sensitive about, you tell them, please don't say that again, don't joke about this again, don't talk about this again, and you set boundaries from there. It's really nice to set boundaries because no one crosses the line, and especially in workplaces, of course there are boundaries and everyone has mutual respect and understands each other. This of course promotes a stronger workforce in your business. Now, techniques: assertive communication, you recognizing and respecting others' boundaries and adjusting boundaries as needed. Obviously, you don't want your boundaries to be also too much, then the relationship becomes awkward and weird, and everything is like a red line. You want, to be flexible about your boundaries. And now, conflict resolution. If we do get in a fight, conflict is a disagreement or clash between ideas, principles, or people. We all get into arguments and conflicts. How do we solve them, and what do we do? So there are three types of conflicts. There's interpersonal, intrapersonal, and organizational conflicts. Now, interpersonal, they're basically between you and yourself. Intrapersonal between others, and organizational conflict is like with businesses. So what are techniques for resolving conflicts? You have collaborative problem solving. So of course the first thing you need to do is identify the issue, like we said before, when we were saying about describe, explain, predict. So you describe the issue, what's happening, you explain why it happens, and from there you break it down into small tasks, small steps, and solve it. So what's a collaborative problem solving? So you understand, for example, if you have a group of people that are in an argument, you understand the perspectives and the stories from everyone around them, brainstorm what they all said, what's different, what's the same about what they said, and from there come up with a solution and agree to a plan. Negotiation, so it's a dialogue between two or more people and then to reach a beneficial outcome. So obviously negotiations can become sometimes heated, which is not good and negative. So what we need to do when we are negotiating, first, if the person in front of you is pissing you off, is annoying you, you always have to be the better person and stay calm, stay wiser than him or her, and not get angry, not raise your voice, and so on. So, and of course, it's important for us before we get into negotiating, we prepare in advance, being clear about what we want and finding a compromise. If we do prepare in advance, we're ready for whatever situation, whatever answer may come from them, from the person you're negotiating with, which is important. And it's important to be very clear about what you want, being honest, being open, because if you miss out some things in the negotiation now, this thing may stay for next time and create even bigger and bigger problems. So when you do have a problem, when we do have a problem, it's really, really good and healthy to solve the problem here and there. Like some couples or married people, what they do, what I heard is that before they sleep, they try to solve all their problems. So they don't go to sleep unless they've solved all their problems and fights. And I think that could be really beneficial because whether it's that with couples or married people or friends or any or family even. um, if you carry on and don't talk about it and ignore the problem is gonna stay, almost never gonna leave, and even probably develop into greater and bigger problems. um, and last but not least, taking a break. Some people decide to take a break to think things over. Can be a good idea sometimes. I don't honestly recommend it. uh, Personally, taking a break is just, for me, I think of it as like just ignoring the problem. Like I said to you, it's really important to solve the problem here and there and not just leave it and prolong it. But if you do decide to take a break, like I said, also I've said before, it's not wrong to take a break sometimes. But in relationships, and friends and family, I honestly don't recommend it personally. Anyways, the steps for taking a break: taking a short break. Obviously, you don't take a month, 2 month break. You try to keep it as short as possible. It's okay. Like, yeah, actually, you can take like a day, two, but nothing more. Don't try to prolong it. Think things over, and upon return from break, again, like I said, don't avoid solving the conflict. Some people, they take a break like, okay, we're good now, done. No, talk about the problem, solve it, and then move on. Many people who avoid solving the problem face the problem of it arising later and creating even bigger problems, like I said. And again, of course, this is the end of the lesson. With relationships and any problems you do face, if you feel comfortable, of course, you can talk to us on the community, on the Discord community, about it during the Q&As, during the workshops, or on the question tab in the Discord. You can ask us if you're feeling stuck, particular problem. I have a problem with my business partner, for example. What do you guys think I should do? I'm stuck at this point. I'm not feeling calm, or so on. But it's really, really also important to try not to involve so many parties when having a problem. So if you and your brothers are fighting, when you involve your parents, it gets really messy. I think you should solve it with your sibling first, and then from there, if it is not solved, move on to the parents and they solve it for you. Or even, for example, in a business, if the partners are fighting, they're having a conflict and a disagreement, they try to solve it internally first, and if it doesn't get solved internally, then they move on to a third party that helps them resolve the issue. Thank you guys, and see you in lesson 4.